Why high achievers have low self-esteem, healing imposter syndrome, and feeling not good enough. We're going to talk about this today and what you can do about this. Welcome back to the Self-Esteem and Confidence Mindset podcast with me, Johnny Pardo. I wanted to talk about this because I was someone who had those challenges of like looking confident on the outside. And I'm going to explain the difference once again of what the difference for me is between confidence, self-esteem, and self-worth. I was someone who looked like he's very confident on the outside. I was in good shape. I'm reasonably good looking. I put a lot of effort into my presentations. But like I was drowning in self-hate at times in my life. I really felt in dark places. Like I didn't want to get out of bed. Like anything that went against my view of the world of how things should have gone made me doubt myself and doubt life. And what are the chances that things are not going to go your way in life? 100%, right? But this is the way I thought. There's always going to be something that's going to come up. And I used to just drink, not every night, but like at weekends, drink heavily, like my sorrows and how I felt about myself as a result. And over time, I developed a stronger relationship with myself. I really started to appreciate and accept myself. Of course, there were challenges and ups and downs in life, but I wanted to talk about this because often you don't know what someone's going through or what's actually someone experiencing. I've seen people who are very confident in certain situations, but then actually you find out that they really don't like themselves, or in the worst case scenarios, sadly, we see people take their own lives or go on to serious drink or drug issues, right? We've seen that with the celebrities, people who appear to have it all, these actors that are taking their own lives, these celebrities. Because being a high achiever, and a high achiever for me is someone who's like performing well at a certain area in their life, or maybe multiple areas. But like, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Now, I'm going to give you some tips, but I want to talk about some definitions that I've found over time. And I've slightly tweaked them over time as well on what is confidence, what is self-esteem, and what is self-worth. Coming from someone who used to be terrified to even say his name to people in a meeting room, and then put his first YouTube video out to doing at least 5 a week now. So there's been a huge transformation in my life. Now, confidence for me is about the trust in your ability to do something. So you could, like if you're an actor, for example, you can be really confident in your ability to act, but it doesn't mean you like yourself behind the scenes. Now, people, of course, do have a good relationship with themselves and confidence. Look at someone like Matthew McConaughey. His energy, like on how much work he's done on himself and his skill as an actor is both high there. But you look at someone, unfortunately, like Heath Ledger, one of the best actors, in my opinion, that I've ever seen. Unfortunately, took his own life, had a lot of drug abuse. So anyone, in my opinion, with drug abuse or kind of an addictive behavior is running away from themselves. So he didn't like himself very much. That would be my perception. But yeah, like confidence, like as an actor, his confidence was high, right? No denying that, because he kept doing it again and again and again. You could have someone who's very confident as a CEO because they're really, really good at what they do, running a company. You could have athletes who, and you see this in footballers, like my favorite sport, or soccer players if you're American, very, very confident. And then you find out they had issues behind the scene. People like Dele Alli was a great example. The man was one of the best English prospects when he was in his early 20s. Unfortunately, it's really changed for him now. But he opened up about his like mental health struggles behind the scenes. So he was a really confident footballer, right? I've had it like in terms of I increased my confidence in presenting, but I still didn't like myself behind the scenes. So confidence is trust in your ability, and that's done through competence. Now, one thing that's really been speeding things up for me is celebrating the effort and feeling good and having fun along the way, because the more you can do that, that's the reason I enjoy podcasting so much. I know not everyone has the same passion as me in podcasting, but like, I didn't get too attached to the numbers and trying to hit an outcome. I enjoy podcasting, and therefore I did more of it, had fun, and that boosted my confidence as a result. And even interviewing people now, if I look at my first interview versus now, wow, my confidence, my ability to do so is dramatically improved over time, right? Confidence is doing things again and again, but when you have fun along the way and celebrate your efforts, it speeds it up even more. Now, self-esteem for me is kind of like validating yourself in terms of like you doing what you say you're going to do and sticking to that. Now, for me, I've messed things, set myself stuff and not done it. And I didn't necessarily have a good self-esteem. That is what self-esteem is for me, my relationship with myself, but it's also like keeping my word and doing what I say I'm going to do, right? And a lot of us, and this is what I'm learning in one of my latest coaching programs, it's said in such a great way, we'll keep our words to other people, but we don't keep our words to ourselves. And that is toxic in my personal view. If you keep doing that, now and then, of course, you're going to slip up and not do what you say you're going to do. When I don't do what I'm going to do one day, I like to do double the next day, and that's okay for me. I don't like to do that often. And by the way, I'm not perfect, right? But if you're constantly slipping up and not doing what you say you're going to do, that is going to damage your relationship with yourself. Like, I put podcasts out every single week, and that keeps my word to myself. Now, the problem is I've been guilty of setting myself too much. And when you set yourself too much and don't do what you say you're going to do, that is damaging. And it's ideally something that's in your control. Like, if you set yourself, I want to earn 100K this year or whatever, there's certain factors out of your control, but the effort you put in terms of you're going to go to this many networking events, you're going to message this many people, you're going to really work on your marketing and work on it X amount a day, you're really going to work on your sales skills, or if you're in a career, you're really going to work on developing this skill, then that's within your control. So that's, for me, really helps self-esteem, is like doing what I say I'm going to do. And then there's self-worth. Self-worth is just how you value yourself as a human being for existing. And unfortunately, a lot of us, including me in the past, don't value ourselves as a human being. It's tied to an external event or what someone else says. And that can be quite damaging, I personally found. Because, you're out of control of that. So with self-worth, what I find is really beneficial is the way I talk to myself, the way I treat myself generally. Just, I believe everyone deserves to, exist on this planet because we're here, right? Now, of course, I'm not saying that the behavior of many people on the planet is right, because there's a lot of, sadly, very cruel and harsh things on this planet. I think everyone can agree on that. But there's also some beautiful human acts on this planet as well. And, the hurtful ones comes from hurt human beings who don't have very good self-worth, in my view. And also self-worth can go the other way, where you're not bad to other people. You put everybody ahead of your own needs, and you don't feel very good about yourself. And we see some tragic things happen with people we didn't expect because they're kind of bottling it all to themselves. So those are my definitions of self-confidence, being trust in your abilities, and that's built with repetition and feeling good. You can really speed it up. Self-esteem, it's like keeping the word to yourself. And then self-worth is just how much you value yourself as a human being. Like, I've struggled with self-esteem and self-worth. And of course, I've built my confidence in things. I've been from zero confidence in something, like presenting and speaking, to real high levels. There's still a way to go. I'm no Les Brown, of course, right? And I'm always working on my skills, but that's something I've acknowledged for myself. And I'm just real. Like, I never claim to be something I'm not. And if someone doesn't like me, that's totally fine. And that's linked to self-worth as well. So, because if you've got low self-worth, you need everyone to like you. And I've definitely been there as well. So let's go into some points I believe are really going to help you today. Number one, external world is a reason why high achievers and feel really good at what they do, but not good about themselves, is they look at working on their external world, i.e. everything outside of them, their skill set, what they're doing, but they don't look at their internal world. Both are muscles, in my view. So look at it like a muscle. If you're like, right, working hard on a job, doing this, this, and this, and then you get promoted, that's great. I would add, the right energy is key. Like, I've effortlessly grown in paychecks and career and business when I felt good. When I've been in the state of struggle and fear and like, I've got to work hard, that's when results don't show up. When I feel good and I work, actually I don't even like the term work hard, because that puts struggle to it in itself. So I had a podcast guest who pointed that out the other day. It was really good. I agree. When I'm like working in flow or putting the right energy about, that's when things show up. But what we don't do, I believe, is work on the inner world muscle, i.e. how we feel about ourselves, our relationship with ourselves, constantly. And I schedule that every day to work on myself every single day. Now, being honest, I need to put a little bit more time into my journaling, but I'm very good with my meditations and breath work, right? But having dialogues with myself, even though I do some brief like interactions with my journal, but my intention for this coming week is put a lot longer in, is I build that muscle of myself. So therefore I believe in myself. Therefore the way I put my energy out shows, and opportunities come to me. Like, so many guests come to my podcast because they're like, I'd love it. This is a really good show. Really want to be on. And that's because I'm working on my inner world all the time. So you cannot, in my opinion, right, I appreciate everyone's got different situations. A single mum working a career or a business, is going to have more of a challenge. I don't want to say less time, because we all got the same amount of time, but more of a challenge prioritizing where to spend her time than perhaps, a single guy who's, just got a part-time job coming out of university, right? For example, that's going to be like different priorities, right? For those different people. I'm not saying, I know we've all got different situations, but let's be honest, there's some people going to find difficulty prioritizing their time, right? So finding even 10 minutes a day is essential for working on your self-love. The people who have had like real challenges with their time, like, I don't like to say less time, because we all have the same amount of time. Like, Elon Musk has 24 hours, Mark Zuckerberg has 24 hours, everyone has 24 hours, right? But it's about like prioritizing. But again, I do appreciate people got different challenges, so I'm not denying that. But like, if you can prioritize even 10 minutes a day, longer the better, but I appreciate not everyone's got that luxury of that time. 10 minutes a day, you can sit with yourself and just work on your relationship with yourself. That is really going to pay you back. So that's my first point. Number 2, validate yourself for the effort you're putting in, not reliant on the outcome. Now, if you get the result you wanted, like business comes through, like when it does for me, I celebrate, I go, yes, it's amazing from all my hard efforts. That's great. But I don't go like recently, like signed a client, had more deals coming through my podcast. I'm like, yes, but I am celebrating the effort regardless. I was doing a sales role recently, and I was on a really bad spell because it was very difficult. Well, it was me needing to upgrade my skills. I don't like to say, the leads are difficult, all these things. It was a challenge, yeah, but it was down to my own skill. But like, I felt I wasn't equipped enough, and maybe there's an upgrade on my skills. So I really went away, focused on what I want, started doing stuff in my own business, and I started celebrating the effort more, and the results started showing up. So celebrate the effort you put into things, not the outcome. Number 3, spend time with yourself. It kind of comes off the first point, but if you can schedule time with yourself, it's just what I want to emphasize, rather than being like just going at the mercy of life and being reactive to everything. It's really important, because you will not build a relation. Think about this. If there's someone you loved, maybe it's a partner, let's use a romantic partner in this case, and like, you're like, I just don't have time to spend with you. I'm not going to spend any time with you. How great would that relationship be? No, it'd be terrible, right? Um, and I found this even in my like latest situation. Like we are both very busy driven well, very time consuming priority individuals. Always find time for each other in dating, right? Because it's important. But like, if I go to a woman and I'm like, who I'd be dating, and I'd be like, I don't have any time for you. How great would she feel? She'd feel terrible, probably leave me, right? Um, but it's like we do that to ourselves. It's like you're saying to yourself, I'm not going to spend any time with me because I'm not important. That's what you, and I'm not saying you need to sit there for an hour every day and meditate, no. But I'm like saying if you're completely at the mercy of the environment and you're expecting yourself and you're not spending time with you and you're like, well, I got really low self-love, low self-worth, all these kind of things, but you don't like spend any time with yourself, like, how do you expect that to change? That's just a challenge because I used to be that person, right? It's like people but like complain about their bad relationship with themselves and go into this victim mentality, but they're not putting any effort in to spend time with themselves. It will not change unless you schedule that time. And again, like I appreciate different time priorities, but the more you can find time with yourself intentionally, the more it's going to change. Okay, the next point, imposter syndrome can be a good thing. Imposter syndrome shows that you're growing, and people come out of this like, I feel like I'm an imposter for growing. I felt that. Now I used to like run from it, or I'd like find a way of like pulling back to my comfort zone. But now I'm in a place of like, okay, I'm feeling discomfort here. That's good. I'm growing, right? And it's less and less the more I do it. Like I have some top profile guests on my podcast. I approach some companies for like crazy deals. I like demand like things in business, not like demand, give me this, but like I'm giving value and I'll say, okay, this is the price and this kind of thing. Like, yeah, that discomfort comes up. I am human like anyone. People think like confident people just have no fears. Everyone has fears. Everyone has these self-doubts. But it's like your ability to recognize it's a sign of growth is a different thing. And like I'm very blunt because I want to help people. People think they're special because they got imposter syndrome or all these kind of things. There is definitely internal work to do. Yeah, get someone to support you 100%, but it will never change unless you keep moving forward, even if it's bit by bit. It's like people think there's a way around that. I've heard many people say, I'm so nervous about putting myself on camera. You're never going to improve that ability until you actually get on camera. I hate to say it. People think there's another way around. It's like, oh, I'm really nervous about selling to people. Like, that's why I got on so many sales calls or worked in sales, right? It's like you're never going to boost that confidence or work through that imposter syndrome of what am I doing here until you actually do it. And then your brain starts seeing when you do it again and again and again, oh, this is safe. So there's no other way around. Like, yeah, the self-talk, but you won't actually change it until you take the action. And then number 5, and I'll also add something else to that point before I come on to my final point. Like, what I realize is if you're starting your own business, it's easy to run because you're like, maybe this isn't for me. And that's your brain like covering up BS basically because you're scared. Like, that's easy, like run away from your own thing because it's only like you think about it, so you're only for yourself and you got like, that's where your brain will think. It doesn't mean it's right, just keep you safe. But when you're in a career, like this is what I noticed. Like I've been like had to go into situations where I'm really uncomfortable and I'm like, shit, can I do this? Am I really worthy of this? And then I realized that actually I built my confidence in that or built my belief in that over time because I had to do that situation because my work required me to. And then if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be very popular in the workplace. And that's how I built my confidence. But yet we don't do it for ourselves because there's no like accountability. So make yourself accountable for yourself to build a skill. But I remember being in a really uncomfortable professional environment when I had to set up things. Everyone was looking at me. I was shaking inside and I did it. And that's when I built true confidence. And then I started putting myself in my own uncomfortable situations in my own life. Like, again, you're not special because you think you got imposter syndrome. You're special for your gifts and who you truly are in life. And you don't get more of that until you start working through these little, I got imposter syndrome conversations, right? This used to be me. That's why I'm very, very blunt on this one, because I want to help. I don't want to sugarcoat it. And then number 5, look at evidence why you are enough. People don't do this. I didn't do this. Like, it's like, oh, what's wrong? What have I messed up? Oh, what's going to go wrong? Okay, I'm fearful, blah, 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 blah. All right. But actually, the evidence, writing down all the things you've achieved in your life, how amazing you are, how wonderful, how magical you are, really can help you move forward, I found. So get that list down and then keep looking for evidence of why you are good enough, because you are good enough as you are, and keep remembering that and look at that list regularly. So those are my points on really building more self-esteem, working through imposter syndrome and feeling good enough today. So number 1, we talked about working in your inner world like a muscle, like the external world. Number 2, validate yourself by the effort, not just the outcome. When the outcomes you want come, celebrate that, but celebrate the effort regardless of the outcome. Number 3, spend time with yourself. Number 4, recognize imposter syndrome is a good thing for growth, and that you're not special for experiencing it, but you are special as a human being. So keep working through that. And then number 5, write down evidence of why you're enough, all the things you've done in your life, because we forget that and our brain focuses on the negatives. Get it down, write it, and focus on it on a daily basis. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here, and remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.